Well, folks, welcome back to Gale Force Winds. My name is Jerry Carew, and I'm excited to have one of our sponsors on. Before I talk about our sponsor, I want to talk about the Mineral Resources Review. It's actually happening November 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, next week, actually. We're very excited about it. We are going to be at the show with our booth. New Valley Drilling Company Limited is the sponsor for November 8th. On that day, we're going to brand up our booth with the New Valley Drilling backdrop, and we're going to interview people that Clyde and his team want us to interview, and we'll throw in a few extras. So if you're there, come by, talk to us, and we'll have it recorded. Enough about that. I want you, Clyde, to introduce yourself, and we'll tell us a little bit about your business. I understand it's your 40th year. That's amazing. Tell us a little about yourself and your business.
Well, my name is Clyde Parsons. I'm president of New Valley Drilling Company, located in Springdale, Newfoundland. We have been in operation since 1984, which gives us 40 years this year. It's a milestone for us, and we're very happy. We provide drilling service to the mineral industry, and also we are diversifying into the technical side of the drilling industry this year. So hopefully, things will continue. As I said, 40 years, it's a long time for me, but we got people still with the company who's got interests. And, we got our grandson who just moved in at 3 years ago. Hopefully it can grow and it can be as successful as what we have been in the industry. So,
Clyde, wow, there's so much. We do an inspirational podcast. I'd like to spend an hour and a half with you. For this purpose today, we don't have that much time, but I do want to ask you, 40 years in business. On your website, it says you've got 55 years experience. Tell us a little bit about, what you were doing prior to the business, and then, why you started this.
Well, actually, I finished school at 16 years old, and I went into the drilling business. Working on the drill rigs. Done that for 3 or 4 years, and in 1970, I think, which was the boost of my career, I went to Panama, working for Canadian Javelin at the time on a copper porphyry site, and spent 2 years there. And after we came back, I went to work for Petrol Drilling Company, which I stayed for 11 years up until the time that we started New Valley.
Amazing. In the 40 years since you've been in business, you must see enormous change in terms of Newfoundland, and give us a little brief encapsulation of where you see the industry has come and where it's going.
Well, it's come a long ways. There's no question about that from where we started. Equipment was pretty primitive at the time, and right now we're getting into totally hydrostatic equipment, and it's a pleasure to work with this equipment compared to when I started back in 1966.
So the economy of Newfoundland has, I was at Central Minix 2 years ago, and Eric Sprott spoke, and he said something that I was totally taken aback by, that the gold find there is probably the largest in Canada's history and potentially the largest in the history of the world. That knocked me off my feet. The opportunity that you see and you saw 40 years ago, talk a little bit about what you see in terms of opportunity in this industry.
Well, you look at every old drill on any site is probably another jackpot. We've seen 2 or 3 situations in our 40 years. It don't happen all that often, as you know, that there's quite a bit of work put into any property and most of them don't come to anything but just a, a good mineralized zone and do not become a mine. But luckily, I'm not sure what it would be, but probably every 30 or 40 sites may be developed into a mine. As you know, that the mining industry here in this province, we've had probably three operating mines in central, Goldbridge, Atlantic Coast Copper, and then one more right here in Little Bay. So it's not always a success, but there's a lot of optimistic people out there who take a different look at how a geologist looked at it, prior to them picking up the property.
Clyde, it's an absolute pleasure talking to you. As I said, I'd love to delve into your 40-year career and more around the economics of it all for Newfoundland Labrador. That's another day. So you're going to be at the Mineral Resources Review, and tell us a little bit about, why you're investing in that particular show, and in particular in the thought leadership for Gale Force Winds.
Well, the show is something we've attended for 50 years now, and I think it's all worthwhile because we meet a lot of people there. You've got a lot of geologists on site, people who we work for, and most of them compare notes. It's a small industry. It's a big industry, but it's a small industry when it comes to people. And we pick up work from that conference, and sometimes we don't pick up any work. But that's part of business, and we think it'd be very optimistic, to be there at any given time.
Well, I tell you right now, I am extremely excited to get to know you and your team. You're going to you have a booth there as well?
No, we don't.
Okay, you're going to be sponsoring the Gale Force Winds on the fourth day. I'm going to say this. Thank you, Clyde, to you, to your team for your leadership. What we are going to do is take all those recordings away from the show and post them online such they live forever. And thought leadership around this industry is really important. And I can tell you this, having the foresight to create a company 40 years ago in the burgeoning industry that, is now really expanding, it shows the leadership that you have. And I thank you for that.
One other thing, Jerry, I think it's important that it's people. And our company is only successful because of the people we've had working for us. We had a guy retired at 35 years who worked for us. Our manager right now, Craig Toms. Craig has got 32 years in. Our secretary has been here for 20 years. And really, my wife has been by my side for the whole 40 years. We started it together. And you can probably see why she's white-haired now and I got none.
I can relate to that.
But
Clyde,
anyway,
again, this, folks, is what leadership is all about. What I would say to you is that the world needs more Clyde Parsons, his wife, and all the team at his company. New Valley Drilling, 40 years. What a milestone. Thank you for everything you're doing for this province, and we look forward to working at the Mineral Resources Review.
thank you very much, Jerry.